Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Gina Telomero. I am a faculty member here at Touro University, Nevada in the School of Physical Therapy. And today we're so excited we have Vegas for Athletes joining us, and we're going to do an EKG screen. Come on in. We are going to be in our OMM lab today. It has lots of tables that you're going to see. Our PTs, our PAs, our DOs, our OT, nursing students all use this room. So we're going to come this way. We're here today to learn to use their devices so that when you guys hopefully are given the opportunity to go into the community and volunteer and assist with this mission, you feel confident and competent in using their EKG unit. So we have Renee here and Troy. Hi.
Thank you. My name's Troy Rock. I'm the Executive Director of Vegas for Athletes. Renee and I co-founded this nonprofit about 1.5 years ago when we discovered sudden cardiac arrest was the #1 medical cause of death in student athletes. Since then, we've screened 1,300 athletes at no charge to the families, and we found 44 young kids with heart abnormalities and 7 with life-threatening conditions. In doing that, we were able to lobby the state legislature to make heart screenings part of the annual sports physical, at which point they denied us and said that our nonprofit was too small, so we had to grow and expand and get bigger. Through that process, we partnered up with the city of Las Vegas, and now we're bringing a youth sports Olympics called the Vegas Summer Games, where we're using sports as a way to bring the kids in to make heart screening more fun than like giving blood or something boring. So we tied it in with the sports element, and the Vegas Summer Games is an Olympic-style sports. There's an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony, and 3 days of competition all across the city in multiple sports. So I'm hoping that you guys will want to be a part of that with us, part of this journey, and that's why we're here today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Renee Kim, and thank you so much for being here. I am just beyond excited to work with Touro University. I didn't even know that, I had no idea this was a medical school here in Las Vegas, and I'm just so proud, and I'm really hoping that this MOA goes through really fast, because I cannot wait to brag to the world that we are partners. We were doing, just to put things in perspective, last year we did about 15 community heart screening events. This year we're going to do over 100. And that is the type of explosive attention we're getting from the state. We have done events with just about every pro team here. We are partnered with CCSD, so we now have them sending out flyers to have the heart screenings done for the kids. And when we sent out the volunteers request from Touro, there were over 50 students that actually volunteered. And unfortunately, the one place that you guys all wanted to go was at Green Valley, and that place was the smallest. And I only needed like 2 people there, so I thought we would turn this opportunity to let you guys understand the device that we're using and actually do the demonstration. But we do have a very special guest, and that is Dr. Chang, and he is the CEO of QT Medical, and that is the device that we're using for screening athletes. And he's also a pediatric cardiologist from UCLA, and he's in California, so he's not physically here, but I would love for him to explain. So let me give you a little background. I used to be a marketing person for a medical device company, and that device was engineered towards the athlete's hearts only. And it was great to screen all these athletes, because really they were just looking for abnormalities, whether the child could play sports or not. Not technically, it's really clinical. And that made it easy for us to screen kids, because we didn't scare a whole lot of kids. There weren't too many false positives, but QT Medical is very medically driven. So Dr. Chang did something really fantastic, which he kind of sort of added this international criteria, which I wanted to talk about. That made it easier for us to actually use QT Medical, because their back end is insanely easy, so much easier for us to use. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Chang to explain QT Medical ECG device that they have and how it works and how he added the international criteria and what that is. And I think that's super important for all of us to learn. And we're hoping that you will volunteer for us, for the rest of 2026. So hold on one second.
So it's a great pleasure to be here, and even though I can see most of you, I appreciate this opportunity to show that what we do here. As Renee said, I'm a pediatric cardiologist. I've been practicing at UCLA for the last 26 years, and one of the my most important research is on sudden cardiac arrest of young athletes and how to prevent it. So I spent over 20 years on the ECG and also how to screen athletes to prevent such tragedies. And the company was formed over 10 years ago in my research lab to figure out a better way to do ECG to enable mass-scale screening. So that's what we came up with, something that's super simple, easy, portable, and also connected so that screening events can be conducted with a minimal setup and also minimal training, still maintain the same quality, same standards you will use as a conventional ECG. So in our PCF 500, which is cleared by FDA in 2018 and then cleared for pediatric use in 2022, this device is, as you can see, is super compact, so it's very portable and also easy to be used in different settings. And we got rid of the wires and cables, so you don't need a technician to learn where to put them and how to connect each one of them. You just pick up the right size and for the particular athlete, and you're ready to go. You can also use a cable, which still enable you to do a conventional way. Now you can put 10 electrodes separately in its individual slots, and then still be able to record. So you can either use a sensor or use a cable. I mean, I wouldn't normally recommend using the sensor because it's much more efficient, especially in the event where you have a large number of students to screen. Using the sensor will save you at least 70% of the time, and also save a lot of personnel training that you have to put in to do that. And that's how to size an athlete. We also come with the sizing guide, which is a template you can put on before you put on the sensor. And here, what you do is you aim for the blue box in the center, right on the sternum, and the level between the nipples. The level between the nipple line is the forced intercostal space, which is where you want to put your V1 and V2 leads are. And then as you wrap the tail around V3 and V4 will fall in place, and V6 should more or less end right at the left mid-axillary line. So as you can see, this athlete, he is size L, which is perfect. Normally we'll put these a little bit distal, so if you can put the right arm to the lateral aspect of the right arm, right shoulder. So the RA lead typically will put it a little bit more distal to the shoulder joint, and then LA distal to the left shoulder joint. And once you place all the limb leads, you will just snap in the recorder. ECG test used to be done in the complete supine position. But if an athlete were to do this recording by himself or by herself, it can be in a 45-degree incline, which is the recovered position. You can still use a mobile device and be able to operate a mobile device. So right now the leads are placed, and the connector is connected to the recorder, and you will hold the button on the right side of the recorder for 5 seconds to turn on the device. Once it's turned on, you will use an iPhone or iPad to fire out the app. There you go. Entering the information with the rapid information. There you go. And when it's connected, it will ask you to go to the settings, to use the Bluetooth to connect to the recorder. The recorder has a serial number. It's identify the serial number and connect. And once connected, you can come back to the app and initiate recording. And if you have a large event, large number of students, you can actually pre-register them. So at the time of the event, you can actually find the athlete much faster.
Another thing that I really wanted you to talk about is the international criteria and how it detects and what it does. And let me just give you some story behind international criteria. So international criteria is a list of criteria that all these different cardiologists got together and identified an athlete's heart. They said if they have qualified for these qualifications, then they are considered an athlete's heart. For example, normal person would have 60 to 80 beats per minute for their heart rate, but athlete could have 40 beats per minute, and that would be considered normal in this case with international criteria vetted. So when we screen these kids, and normal ECG would spit out and say there's something wrong with this kid because his heart rate is just too slow. But in fact, he's an athlete, so it'll spit out and say it's okay. So I would love for Dr. Chang to explain how you have embedded this international criteria findings so that when we do a heart screening for athletes, it'll trigger the fact that we're screening athletes versus if we're just doing clinical ECGs for normal people. Can you explain that a little bit on the backside?
Sure. So, ECG screening, one of the limitations earlier being criticized a lot is the false positivity. So, false positive results can increase anxiety, increase the cost for follow-up study. So that could be a problem. And then the false positive rate used to be around 3%. At the 3%, of course, that you cannot consider all these follow-up that you have to do. With that, to make it possible for large-scale screening, you really have to lower the false positive rate. So what happened is in 2015, there's a group of experts met in Seattle and created this called Seattle criteria to say that some of these ECG findings that we thought are normal for young children are actually normal for trained athletes, because athletes' heart after training cannot be seen as the same as the regular hearts. So, for example, your athlete training makes your left ventricle muscle thicker, and also lateral voltage will be larger, and also because it increases stroke volume, so your heart rate actually will decrease, so that some of those are considered bradycardia for regular children actually are not considered bradycardia for athletes. Because all these the Seattle criteria was corrected, that was created in 2015, and then later 2017, on the second meeting with the experts, revised the criteria and became an international criteria, which is the one that we have used since. 2025, they met again and further refine the international criteria. So I believe that the new international criteria will be coming out in the next few months with further revision. But this is what we have for now. I'd like to show you on the screen the international criteria. And this is the criteria used to interpret ECG used to screen athletes. Purely for pre-participation qualifications, or whether the athlete will qualify or not by ECG standard. So you can see this is a article published in Journal of American College of Cardiology in 2017, and this is the international recommendation. These are the experts who created this international criteria that we would normally consider abnormal for other kids, but it would be considered normal for athletes. In this international criteria, they group the ECG findings into three. First one is the considered normal ECG finding, and these are actually considered abnormal for our kids, but if you see these findings in athletes, they actually are considered normal. For example, incomplete right bundle branch block would be considered abnormal for regular kids. Athletes, those are normal. First degree AV block, which is a prolonged PR interval beyond the normal range. This will be considered normal for other kids, but for athlete screening, to minimize the false positivity, and this is considered part of the cardiac change with screening would be considered normal. Same thing with the second-degree heart block, Opus type 1. So these are normal ECG findings. If you see these for athlete screening, these are considered normal. Their second group is called borderline ECG findings. These could be normal, could be abnormal. That's why it's called borderline. The international criteria define if you have one of these, only one of these 5, it would consider be okay. So you can ignore that. But if you see 2 or 3 out of the 5, then it will be considered abnormal. Then that require further evaluation. So those are the borderline. 1 is okay, 2 is too much, and 3 is definitely abnormal. And there are abnormal findings. So these are, doesn't matter if you're an athlete or not. Even athletes, if you see any of these, are considered abnormal. So this is the third group in the international criteria. So these are the 1, 2, and 3, and normal, borderline, and abnormal. Now, that's what would be the criteria we use to screen athletes on generating the report. Now, I'd like to switch to another screen to show you that how our ECG reading platform is structured. Makes it easier for any reading physician to go in there and read ECG based on international criteria. So our dashboard, which is in the cloud, HIPAA compliant, it requires a login, and the doctor will log in and then be able to see all the EKG. Normally use a computer, it could be a tablet or it could be a server. Just go to a browser, type in the URL, and then you can log into the dashboard. So on the screening event, you may screen 100, 200 kids, and then the doctor can be reading from 3,000 miles away his or her laptop computer. Just log in and you can see it from miles and miles away. Okay. So once you log in, you'll see all these EKG records need to be read, and then we'll go to summary. So once I log in, you can see this is actually not the real one. This is generated by simulator, but that's still. So we have a box here. If you check this box, it becomes an international criteria reading. If you uncheck it, this is a regular reading. So some of the students are considered athletes and some are not. So if they're not an athlete, you can use the regular. If they are considered athlete screening, then you can check this and then it will switch to international criteria reading. So let's say on a regular reading, you can just come here and then put in the doctor's name. So this will be me, and then you can read as you know what to do, and then normally you type in a few words. There are things that you can select, so like this normal regularization. And I can label this as normal or abnormal, which is important because once for example, if I label as normal, my last reading will show up on the top, and then will be the last one to show on the report. The previous reading will not. It's only the very last one that enable you to go back and revise your reading if you have to. So if you come back to the dashboard ECG list, so you will see that on the status, you can find normal or abnormal, so it makes it easier for you to follow up. But the normal ones you don't have to, so you can just search abnormal. If you type in abnormal, only the abnormal ones will show up, and then those are the ones that need to follow up. Normal, you can send out a regular letter template and send to parents. So the normal ones are the ones that need to follow up. So you just type in normal, and your normal one will show up. Okay. So let's go back and show you the international criteria. So if you check this box after the ECG screening, it will switch the reading platform to international criteria. And remember that we said that there are normal, borderline, and abnormal. Okay. So the reading physician can just decide if this particular finding is present or not. So for example, sinus bradycardia is present in first degree arrhythmia, right? I can put sinus arrhythmia and sinus bradycardia. You can put 3 of these or 4 because many as you find it, but it will still be considered normal. So and then if you on the second group you see left bundle or right bundle x-axis deviation, you can check on that. If it's only one, you can still label as normal. Okay, but if you end up checking 2 or 3, then when you come down to the bottom, you have to label this as normal. And of course, if you find ventricular re-excitation, for example, it doesn't matter how many you check here, this will be considered normal. So this is just the things that as you read and you find any of these, it makes it much easier for you to check the findings, also to summarize the final results. If you end up getting one in abnormal, then it will be normal. But if you don't, you only got this will end up still being normal. Then you can move on to anything you check here will also be shown at the bottom here in the comment. So it will tell you exactly when you generate a report, these are the things that will happen. So if I check a 30-degree heart block, you can see 30-degree heart block function on here. And atrial tachycardia, right, I'll check, it'll go away, and then label this as normal. Does this make sense?
Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, so if I end up submitting the final...
We've got smart people here, they don't have any questions. I actually, for me, the doctor that is overreading the data...
I want to try some.
Us right now volunteering his time is Dr. Sampson out of Nevada Children's Heart Center, and he's a pediatric electrophysiologist. And he's been doing this for 28 years, so he doesn't need all of these things on the side. He knows how to read everything. But for me, it was important because I wanted to make sure that when we're doing these massive heart screening, that we're not just looking for clinical, we're looking for basically can this kid's play without having the danger of him collapsing. So that's why some things are considered normal. Like there's one I think it was called regional 80 block, and that specific clinically is abnormal, but for an athlete that can have that, they can still play. So that's the difference between having this international criteria embedded into the back end. And obviously Dr. Sampson will know exactly what that is, but it's nice to have this guideline in the back end. In the future, if we were to actually do massive heart screening like 50,000 student athletes, then we will need more than Dr. Sampson to go ahead and screen these kids, and we need to have you guys understand the difference between we're screening an athlete versus we're not screening an athlete, and we're doing international criteria versus we're not. We're screening kids for clinical reasons versus are we going to clear this kid to play, because we've gone through a place where we know for a fact this kid is okay, but it came out abnormal, so we had to go and screen it again because this 6-year-old had to go play on Sunday, and it was just like, oh my gosh. So we just wanted to make sure that that was embedded, and he actually did that for us. So I'm extremely excited to use QT Medical. And after this whole thing, you guys should come up and definitely use to see how easy it is and how fast it is and how accurate it is. And I would thank you so much, Dr. Chang, for being here and explaining everything. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to let him go, and we're going to start doing the demonstration.
All right, so Sam's agreed to be our test subject today. So again, when you're using the one and done, you go nipple line. On boys, it's super easy because you don't have to be modest or anything. They can take their shirt off. You go nipple line, you secure it in the sternum, go straight out, down. Where it ends, it should be midline. Always, if it goes too far, it's too big. If it comes short, it's too small. So make sure you size it out. We always have sizers, but to be honest, you guys aren't going to use these much. And with this too, you only have to do arms and left leg. So we're going to do above the hip bone. Never put the devices over a bone, and you're going to put it in the open socket in the clavicle for arms. If they're long enough, you can go on the outside, just so long as they're straight across from each other. They're good. It's really not brain surgery. Once they're on, you would hit start. Because we already did that, we're just gonna hit record. So it literally counts down 10 seconds, and then it starts recording. And then it counts up 10 seconds, and it's done. That's how easy it is. Then you would hit record again, because we send the doctor 2 readings always. Okay, Sam, I want you to do like tense up. So you start seeing how it gets all nasty and it's really tight and it's really close together. This will actually be a false positive for a tachycardic reading. So you have to pay attention to the kids. Kids move a lot, they wiggle, they're uncomfortable, they don't know you, they're gonna tense. You just say, okay, hon, relax. As soon as you start seeing that really tight, rigid, make sure they're relaxed, make sure they don't have a cell phone on them, they don't have a smartwatch, nothing. They're relaxed, they're not holding their breath, they're breathing normal. Hit record again and do 2 from that one. If it's still doing that, that kid might have a problem. We're not going to say anything, we're not doctors. And we're just gonna, if you want, you can put a note. This is really cool. So after you hit okay, you hit note. Say, notice that the reading was irregular, ran it twice, patient was relaxed, breathing normal, no electronic devices around, was supine. Okay, cool. Hit okay, you're done. Doctor can get that note as well. It's super easy. So this is the one, and then you have the 12-point lead. Hi Sam, ready?
One thing I learned about why this patch is so cool is because if this is on wrong, sometimes it does record, but it shows a different angle of the heart, and so it looks like it's abnormal, and so therefore it feels like this patch thing is more accurate. But
Yeah, this is idiot proof.
yeah,
For sure.
that's what I meant. Yeah,
This one's totally idiot proof.
not
Okay.
this. So
Okay, so with this one,
therefore, this is $5 a patch. This is 50 cents. So
yeah, and literally when you take it off, make sure you take this off. This is the part we need. This is disposable. Sorry. Thank you. So they call these a 12-point lead. There's actually not 12 on here. They do make them with 12, but they're always going to be a 12-point lead. Whenever they're talking about a 12-point lead, this is what they're talking about. Trick with these, you have a right and a left. It's always going to be your outside 2. Right arm, right leg, left leg. Same thing. And if you use the device and you put it this way, you cannot confuse your patient, because this is always going to be to their right and this side's always going to be to the left. So QT device to the feet, leads to the head. You cannot confuse it. Well, you might be able to. I've done it. I'm not going to lie. These are a little bit more tricky, so you kind of have to know a little bit about your placement. Again, we're never going to place these over a bone if we can help it, because the bone will give a weird reading. So you find an open space, or you hit the outside of the arm. Again, they're always going to be parallel to each other wherever you place it. For giggles, we're going to go outside. On your 4th open, which again should be about nipple line. For boys, for girls, it's going to be slightly different. You might have to feel. You're going to do 1 on each side of your breastplate. So make sure that it's right there. You're going to go 1, 2, and then the 3rd one comes right in between the nipple and the first one that you placed. 2, 3, and 6. 6 is going to be closer to the armpit, avoiding hip bones. Everything's nice, neat, and uptight. And these are pretty easy to read. LL, left leg. You open it, slide it on, clamp it down. LA, left arm. They literally go in sequence. If you work furthest from you or closest to you, however you go, you're going to either do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're numbered. They're also color coordinated. Plus, you guys are going to be able to play with these too. You guys can pair off if you want.
I have a question off of that question, actually. Say you do see something that's pretty concerning. Is there a way to flag it for staff review?
You would put a note in there. As far as I know, there's not a way to flag it.
So we should really have a doctor on site to know what that is, because I don't know what I'm looking at and I can't really flag, and I'm not a medical profession. So if we had a volunteer doctor, he should be on site. And that's how, when we did our first event, we did have Dr. Hadley, who made the device, on site, and he flagged and said this kid is really dangerous, so we need to take him to the hospital immediately. So we did that, but we don't have that, so we're just hoping that Dr. Sampson will look at it as soon as possible. He already actually seen all the ones that we've already sent to him, and he will look at it and he'll let us know, like, hey, this kid needs immediate attention. So right now we don't have anyone on site to review that.
For the most part, most of us are not gonna know. They don't know what they're looking at. Okay, hypothetically speaking, let's say that's stuck. Okay, yeah, come up. And I will show you, I'm gonna let you literally do it from beginning as if he's a new patient. So ordinarily what we would do is, you have the laptop or this little pad, QT Medical. If he's a new patient, for a new patient, you'd go new. For the MRN, you would put his email, his first name, his last name, the gender, and I have to say this because it's a thing right now. The gender is always going to be, what were you when you were born? Not what you identify as, but what were you when you were born, because that does make a difference in the medical world. Because a genetic test, tests like this, they test different. A female athlete's heart is different than a male's heart. A female athlete's genetics on a test is different than a male's genetics on a test. So they do test different, and it is always going to be, what were you at birth? Whether they get offended or not. You can say it a nice way, you can explain to them that in order for your health, we need to know this information is completely confidential. Okay, so it's always their gender at birth, their birthday, and then you'd hit start. So we're gonna pretend we did that.
Okay.
And then there's our fake one. Oh, wait. Because we're gonna pretend, put one in. We're stopping it. Okay, so then you're gonna hook him up. Now, the doctor was saying that this device can actually be done with them at a 45-degree angle, a resting position, and it's true, they can. We did an event and we had a lot more boys than we had girls, and we didn't have the beds for the boys because we were doing 15, 20 deep. So we had the boys sitting in chairs, reclined back, and we're sticking it on them in the sun. Holding umbrellas over them. Center point. Good job. Watch your cord. Perfect. Okay, we're grading. How's everyone feel like he did? Is he even? Off of bones? Yeah? There is no difference. The only difference is like we were saying, this was idiot proof, because no matter how this goes, unless you're moving these down here or like over here, or making them catawonkus, or putting this one over here, and if you did that, you're literally making an X out of the device. It's going to do a proper reading. With the 12-point lead, it can be off if you put this one here, and instead of going straight across in a hollow spot, and you have to feel for your hollow spot, you put it up higher and it's on a bone. Or if instead of being right here, they're down here, it's gonna read the heart different, right? So you're at a different angle trying to catch it than right through here. So when you're doing this, placement is everything, but they will read it the same, short of the placement. Okay, go sir. You're gonna make sure your device is on.
Okay, powered on.
Yep. Plug him in. Nope.
No, okay.
It's already on, right? Your lights are on?
So
Okay.
there's a green light, that's a power on, and then it has to have Wi-Fi connect. Well, not necessarily. We need Wi-Fi connection through Bluetooth. That blue light is telling you that it is connected. So what's cool about QT Medical is that let's say the Wi-Fi doesn't work, it'll say it's recording off-site, and as soon as you go home and Wi-Fi is in.
It'll start uploading.
Yeah, so that's really cool.
So if you hit record, and then look, there should be a third light. That third light's telling you it's recording. Oh wait, it's initializing. Hold on, it'll pop up, I promise.
Have you ever had issues of if you're doing a multiple of the Bluetooth connecting with the wrong iPad or catching different Bluetooth?
For the most part,
Or once it's connected?
no. Because when the device is paired with that laptop only. So when you're first turning it on, it wants you to select one of however many devices, and it'll give you all the numbers. Once you select the number on the back of the device, this number right here, bottom number, once you connect that bottom number to your device, that's the only one that it'll pull up. So does anyone else have questions? Anybody else want to attack Sam with something? Try the 12-point lead, because those are the ones you guys are really going to get to know. And like, if you ever wonder, like, did I place them all in the right spots? As long, here, I'm gonna, look, I'm the queen of tricks. Tips and tricks, okay. 2 arms, 2 legs, 6 chest. 1 pack, 1 patient, unless they don't stick. Then you'll pull, I always have extras in my scrub top of just random, like 6 or 7 pages that have 1 or 2 missing off of it, but 1 pack, 1 patient. So go ahead, rip that off of him. See, like, this is a random one. You can have him lay down. He's your patient. Their setup is their setup because that's how they created it. Feel his hollow spot? Okay. You do it on your side. Wait, feel the hollow spot. So there's 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 2, 3, 4. Right about nipple line. His is actually right above it. So in his hollow spot, you're gonna go 1, 2. Straight across, that's his hollow spot. Yep. And if your lead's gonna be facing up, you turn it to where it can bite the bottom, they move less.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll bend and flop on the arms and the hips. So then you're gonna go hollow spot, straight across. There you go. 2. And then remember, you're gonna split the difference between nipple and that one. It's gonna be, so 3. Then right below the nipple is 4. Then 5, 6. And on kids, let me tell you, they're a lot closer together. You don't, he's got a big chest, so they're spaced more. On children, they're not that far apart. So you got 6, no, you're 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 legs, 2 arms. Grand total of 10. High five.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, so then you would do this. Okay, separate your left and right, and then this is all the chest, 1 through 6, if that makes sense. Yep, okay, go ahead, you can hook him up. The whole point of these being called banana clips is because, where's the other one at? I'll show you guys. To bite into it. Sometimes they have little teeth in there, sometimes they don't. These are actually kind of smooth. So if you're ever volunteering with us, which I hope all you guys do, and you get it and it says like, that device will tell you like L1 is off. Okay, well or LL is off, so you know that's your left leg. Find the left leg. Is it off? Is it that it's not fully on that yellow part or blue part of your sticker? Is it that the lead came off completely? Is it that it's not completely plugged in and it has a space like that? All you have to do is push it in and it'll pick it right back up. Yeah, hypothetically, let's say that's stuck. There you go, it's in. And then you'd hit, okay, well, you would hit start or whatever. See, it's counting down. So all your leads were on, but see, watch. And it tells you which one, right? Which one lit up? Which one lit up orange? V6. So put it back on. I like to show when things are problems. That way when it happens, you guys don't panic and be like, Danny, come here. It's fine. Oh yeah, I'm ripping them off.
Well, thank you so much, you guys. It's been, do you guys have any questions?
I guess just for future events, you're going to email us through the same sort of everything?
Yeah, so like I said, just to put things in perspective, this year we're doing a lot more heart screenings, and we are doing PFA Summer Games, our opening event.
Do you have any questions since you were the one laying here?
No.
We have an opening ceremony at Casey Soccer Field, and it's on June 22nd. And at that we'll have like really like an Olympic style event. We'll have the really excited Bruno Mars tribute band.
Look, she did that to me too. She goes, Bruno Mars. And I was like, oh, all right.
He literally sounds and looks like him, period. Like if you were from far away, you will never know the difference. And so we have him.
If you were far away.
No pocket budget. And then we actually have DJ, national anthem, color guard, the drum line, the kids parade down. We have the lieutenant governor be there. We will have the mayor there. We'll have council people there because we're partnered with the city. So the whole thing is about bringing the awareness of the fact that we need to do this. We would love for you guys to be there for the medical side because it is required. We will have an EMT, we will have the medical staff there, but we'd love for you to volunteer and just be part of that experience. And then 3 days, the next day, nothing. 3 days of competition out, baseball, basketball, flag football, hockey, swimming, volleyball, track and field, tennis, pickleball, wrestling. I mean, all of it. We booked all the venues. All of them are secured, and we'll probably need some sort of medical staff in each one of those events as well. So if you guys are interested, because we are trying really hard to turn this into an Olympic style event where we already have nicknames. There's like, oh, it's Olympics for teens, EDC for kids with no drugs. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on. And
He said EDC.
and the reason why we have the EDC stuff going is because the closing night we bought out the Cowabunga water park, and it's going to dark party. So all the kids that are participating are invited, and so of course they think that it's sort of kind of like EDC. So we will probably need medical staff there, and we'll probably have DJs. So our goal is to do this on an annual basis, make the experience super fun, and then bring this to have other city kids come to Vegas and compete against us, and then eventually we'll tell them about the heart screening and yada. So hopefully, we get your help for all of that, for sponsorship. For volunteering for medical side as well as non-medical, because I know you guys need credits. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for putting this on. This is incredible. We needed content for ECG screening, and we got plenty today. Did you sign the waivers? Okay.
Well,
I heard you.
thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.